Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life trailer analysis. I've watched this new trailer so many times, and I figured I would share some of what I noticed with you all. If you have anything to add or noticed something I didn't, please share it down below. Starting off, we see a scene that we actually saw in the last trailer, but I just want to draw your attention to something. The chicken coop is in a different location. The two fields are now next to each other, which I guess makes more sense. And the coop is actually next to your house. I guess we'll be able to wake up with our roosters. This trailer very heavily features your daughter, so I guess we should dive into that now. I personally really like her new design. You can also see a picture board just above your bed there, and I believe you could likely post pictures that you actually take with your own camera that we saw in the last trailer. I talked a bit about this last time, but it seems like the shipping room is missing, at least to start. I say this because later on during a time skip, we actually see a building that I don't believe is there from the beginning, between your house and Takakura's house across from the barn. I'm very excited to see a little of a festival. I could be wrong, but this feels similar to the Harvest Festival on the 5th of fall, but this is outside instead of in the blue bar, and it actually includes more characters. I said this before, and I'll continue to say it. Please include more events and festivals. We get a couple shots here of some of the landscape, and again, I personally love the design they're going for. I know not everyone was pleased, but I think they're striking a nice balance of old and new with this approach. We also see the Sprite tree and the mushrooms outside, which I'm guessing are still used to enter it. Just an aside from this high up shot here, it seems like the large field in the back isn't present from the very beginning, so I'm guessing it's an unlockable. We can also see in the trailer, but it looks like the barn can be expanded, and before the expansion, the fence where it will eventually go looks a little bit different. This next section is going to be very interesting. We get a proper look at character customization. We can choose our outfit between the two original looks, which seems to be basically choose your body type. We also get a look at face types, skin color, and a last tab that I'm guessing is eye color. There's then a different set of tabs containing hairstyles, what I'm guessing is hair color, and then maybe proper outfits? I almost feel like I might leave my character default for my first playthrough. What about you guys? We get a lot of watering scenes during this trailer, so I want to take the time to ask. Would you prefer the game bring on more of the modern Story of Seasons gameplay where you level up and upgrade tools, or do you want the original tools to make a return in this game? We get a little look-see into Knick Knack and Flack's house during the Blue Feather cutscene. I've been playing this game again on Twitch recently, and it's very similar for sure, although everything does look a lot more colorful. We also get our first look at mining along with Flora and Carter. Mining is another thing I'm curious if they'll modernize or leave the same. The general shape of the dig site is the same, but there seems to be some stuff going on in some of the raised ground. Speaking of, we also get to see Carter and Flora's tent from across the river. I wonder if the Chihuahua is back. We get to see Wally and Hugh in the next scene during the introduction, but in the background we also get a better look at Daryl's lab and Cody's area. I don't believe we've seen Daryl yet, but I have hope he's going to look as crazy as ever. Inside Romona's mansion, we get to see Grant and little Kate. The mansion itself also looks great. I'm so happy to see Nina and Galen here. I'm sure they'll fix this, but it's always really funny in the original when the characters get all up in your face while chatting. This is cool to see making a return. In the original, you could set up a little stall next to the blue bar and sell your produce directly to the villagers. You could even haggle with them or give them discounts. It looks a bit different, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on here. I don't really have much to comment on here. I just want to say how happy it makes me to see the character aging and the farm expanding. It really is what made this game so great. Nami's room looks almost identical to the original, but I just noticed the book open on the desk. I'm wondering if you can check a bachelor or bachelorette's interest in you the same way you could in the original, by snooping through their diary. We see a really cute moment between the player and Celia, and I'm desperately hoping they redo a lot of the cutscenes. I recently proposed to Celia during my on-stream playthrough, and honestly, it didn't even seem like she said yes. And then after the cutscene, it just left me creeping on her from across the river. It was it was a little weird. I always dreamed about receiving a blue feather. My mother received a blue feather from my father long ago. I always dreamed of getting one myself. And then, why did it drop me here? Why am I watching her through the trees? Side note, I just noticed the archway above them, which I believe might be a proper wedding, but more on that in a future video. It just seems so perfect, and I know a lot of people kind of miss the proper wedding compared to how they do it in the original. Back at home with Celia, there's a record player just like in the original. I'd love for them to allow us to collect different records to play around the farm, and maybe even special runs that reference back to friends in Mineral Town. In this scene, the bedsheets are a different color compared to this one. I'm not sure if that's changed based on who you married, because I've only ever married Celia, or maybe depending on who you're playing as, or maybe there's some house customization. There's a scene with the player, Nami, and their older child. I really like Nami's design here, and I think the graying hair looks fantastic. I also believe the two doors behind them are actually the bathrooms. We get a little look at older Hugh, I believe, along with your daughter on the beach. I remember vaguely in the OG your child might express interest in someone, but it would be neat to see if it actually plays out. Now, this could just be for dramatic effect for those who know the game, so spoiler alert for the nearly 20-year-old game, just for that one person who complained last time. Good? You set? You ready? They mention saying farewells. Then they show a brief scene of the elderly player and Celia, and then the player all alone looking at a grave. I do believe this is Nina's grave, but, stop playing with my emotions. We get another small clip of Gustafa performing for a small audience, including Muku Muku and the sprites. Can the others see Muku Muku? I feel like I remember the kids mentioning him, but I don't know if anyone else ever references it. There's a brief minigame of feeding Grant shown in Ruby's kitchen. I wonder if the milk drinking competition will make a comeback. You can also see the player training their dog, which I always really enjoyed. I've just noticed this. During the entire trailer, we see a lot around the farm, and at various stages of expansion. I think this game starts you off with a little grass growing, and then you need to fertilize to get more in your pasture. This is a bit of a pipe dream, so I'm not expecting it, but it would be nice. Here you can see the chickens in the pasture, and I know we have a bell outside the coop now. It would be amazing to be able to let your chickens out to graze with the rest of your animals, and be able to call them all back at the end of the day. And that was about all I noticed. I was planning on going over the website info again, but honestly, there's just so much, and I can't include it all in one video, so expect another analysis soon. I'm sure there are things I missed, but I know I can rely on you all to point them out. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in more Wonderful Life content from me, I'll be continuing to cover all the new info that comes out while we wait for the game. I'm also streaming the OG game over on my Twitch channel, links down below if you guys would like to come and check that out. And remember, this has been Simply Press Start, where gaming is as simple as pressing start.